Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pro Football Historian channel. I'm your host, Lane Given, and today we'll be previewing Week 3 and all their games for the NFL season. Apologize for yesterday's video, no audio again. I keep having issues. No point even re-recording that. We only got a day, and we need to go to previewing these games. So let's start off with the Carolina Panthers and New Orleans Saints. Like last year, this in this matchup, the Saints won both. Were both pretty close games, to be honest. And my issue though with the Panthers is I have little faith in their offense. Defense should be playing better, to be honest. But I mean, my only worry, I guess, is also the Saints' offense. Winston, playing through, um, fractures in his spine. Um, I don't know how much that affects him. He looked okay besides those couple interceptions that he threw, but this is a tough game. It's in Carolina. I'll lean toward the Saints, but just slightly. Um, in the next game, we got Houston, Chicago, probably the least exciting game for most people this week. I think Chicago's a little bit more. I mean, it's tough. I think they're a little bit more talented, and I think they got the better quarterback, and they're home. So that's my reason I'm leaning there. But like Houston, they're not going to be like Green Bay. They might take advantage and run the ball. I don't think they have that kind of run game. And passing the ball, like maybe, I mean, there's not a lot of special secondary player for the Bears, but I think it's a close, low scoring game. I'll lean towards Chicago in this one. In this game, I thought it'd be more interesting going into the season. Just the Colts have not played well at all, and it is a home opener. Remember the last time these teams played, if I'm correct, it was the Sunday night game where the Colts just ran up and down the field on those Chiefs. I think this is during the Super Bowl year, or maybe even might have been the year before, but I think it was the Super Bowl year. And the Colts won in Arrowhead. So, I mean, I would assume they would have the same kind of plan. Now, the Chiefs' defense is way better now than it was then. And I just don't know what you're going to get out of the Colts offense. I don't think they have the receivers. I don't know who's going to be playing in the game because they had a couple of receivers out last week. I just think, again, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. They're a way better team. I don't know if the Chiefs are going to blow them out or if it's going to be close. I really don't know how this game's going to go. Got really no good feeling on it, but I'm going to lean towards the Chiefs in this one. Bills, Dolphins. It is in Miami, and that would be the one reason I'm like, maybe the Dolphins will, upset the Bills, but I've seen it last year. I mean, even with the additions the Dolphins have, I'm going to lean the Bills. I know Micah Hyde just got put in your reserve for the year, and even Poyer's probably not going to be playing from what I've heard or read. So that's interesting, especially last week you saw the Ravens just blow coverages against the Dolphins. I don't know if that's going to happen with the Bills, but I'm going to lean the Bills. The Ravens took advantage of the Dolphins defense. They scored a lot on them. I think the Bills can do similar things. So I'll take the Bills. Wouldn't be surprised though if Miami wins. It is September Miami home game, but I'll pick the Bills. I think they're the best team arguably in the league. So that's my logic there. In the Vikings Detroit, this one's very tough. I think they're going to split the series. So, I mean, because the Vikings are home, I guess I'll lean their way. in this game, but I wouldn't be surprised. Detroit made this very tight game in both matchups last year. Um, I don't really expect a lot to change. Detroit's even better, so. But I would say Minnesota's slightly better too. So I'll take Minnesota, but I don't have a lot of faith in it. Like, either way, this game could go. So moving on, we got the Patriots Ravens. I know people are picking the Patriots in an upset. I could see it. I mean, last time these teams played, the Patriots, upset the Ravens. I think Cam Newton was playing at the time for the Patriots. But then the year before, the Ravens blew out the Patriots when they had Tom Brady. So the Ravens are not going to be able to run the ball. They just haven't shown that ability to do it. Like, maybe they get some guys back, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I think they're going to play pretty much with the same guys they had last week. I just think the Ravens, even against this defense, if they can get to 20 points, they probably win this game. I think they have a good enough offense to do it, and I think their defense will play better. Obviously, I don't think the Patriots are going to take advantage. If they do blow coverages like the against the Dolphins in that game, they Ravens blew a couple of coverages. I don't see, like, the Patriots don't really have that guy that's going to take advantage of that. Like, maybe Aguilar. I mean, eventually, rookie Tyquan Thornton gets in the mix and gets healthy. He could be a guy like that, but right now, I'll lean toward the Ravens, but wouldn't be surprised again. The Patriots are going to probably make this a close game. And Bengals Jets, obviously, we all know, you should know the Jets did win this matchup last year in New York. Again, in New York, again. I think the Bengals are just more desperate. I don't really expect the Bengals to let the same game plan work, or they just do a bunch of short passes to the running backs and go down the field. Obviously, it was Mike White for the Jets starting that game. Now we Joe Flacco. Again, I think that I would hope the Bengals change things up and play a little differently. But they play the same way, they're going to struggle again, I would assume. So, again, I see this being somewhat of a close game, but I'm going to take the Bengals. Again, wouldn't be surprised the Jets pull the upset just because how the Bengals have been playing, but I'm going to take the Bengals again in that one. This one's very tough. It's kind of odd that you have Josh McDaniels, former Patriots coach, against Mike Vrabel, a former Patriots coach. Probably very familiar with each other. But ultimately, I'm just going to take, I think, even though I think Vrabel might be a slightly better coach, it's not too much factor, I think. But I do think I'm just going to go with the Titans. I like their team a little bit better. I know they got blown out. I don't think a lot of that's going to happen. They're going to eventually find the guys they want to have starting on the defensive side. I know they have injuries. And offensive, they have pretty much the guys they're going to be using for the rest of the season. So, expect the team to play a little bit better. And, they obviously blew the Giants game. You could say the Raiders blew the Cardinals game. So both teams could have a win. They just don't. Again, I'm going to lean Titans. I think they can take advantage of the Raiders' defensive line and hopefully run the ball with Derrick Henry. And the Raiders, they could take advantage of some of the secondary players for the Titans because they haven't ultimately played well this year. But I think the Titans could take a lot from the Cardinals game. And we'll see if, the Raiders adjust or not. But, again, I'm picking the Titans in this one. Got the Eagles and the Commanders. A lot of people think this could be a blowout. I don't know if I see that. I can even see an upset. I'm still going to take the Eagles, but I think Washington, if they can just go into what they do best, and that's Len Wentz just throw the ball to these receivers and even Tony Gibson out of the backfield, McKissick. They can. That's the best way they can play offensively. Defensively, you don't have a lot of faith in the guys they have out there. They have not played well the last year and 2 games for the most part. And, maybe with these receivers, they can take advantage of the secondary for the Eagles because defensively, they don't have the greatest pass rush. And, they got Slay and Bradbury and even Maddox. And they're still safety wise. I've seen them. They blew a couple coverages the Vikings didn't take advantage of. Because Gardner Johnson, he's playing safety, new role. They have Epps as the other safety. I think with these receivers, they have a way to play and get this a close game. Will they do it? I don't know, but that's the way Washington, throwing the ball down the field to their great receiver, even tight end, Logan Thomas. They can make this a close game. Again, they're home. Again, we'll see. Pick the Eagles though. Just think overall the roster's way more complete than Washington. Now, Jags and Chargers. See how Justin Herbert plays with the injury. He at least had a week and a half to get some healing. He's probably gonna have to deal with it for a month or so. This isn't the greatest team to do it against. The Jags defense is really good. But, the Chargers defense is really good, and that should give problems for the Jags offense. I'm kind of seeing this as a close game. I don't know why the spread is the biggest of the week. I know people I guess they're in their head, Jacksonville's, they don't view them as that good, but they could easily have been 2-0. And I guess you could say the Chargers could have been 2-0 too. Also, I could see an upset here. I'm going to take the Chargers. They don't really have much holes. And I think they're slightly better on both sides of the ball. And they're home. Now, this game, last year, the Rams went in Arizona and won. When they hosted the Cardinals, they lost. And then in the playoff game, they hosted the Cardinals and won. So they won the last 2 matchups in both locations. And, I just think the Rams are the better team. They haven't played well, but they're very familiar with the Cardinals. And the Cardinals, what they do is just spread the ball. And so whenever they go in these 2 tight end packages or other things like that other offenses do, they're not very good at them. They just need to go back to what they do best and just spread the ball out. I know, they still don't have Hopkins, so maybe that's why they're leaning not to do it as much. But ultimately, that's what helps Kyler Murray out. It allows them to do 4 wide on one side, 4 wide receivers, and then another one. And then you have also the Kyler Murray runs. It gives a lot of problems for defenses. But again, I think the Rams are a better team. They haven't played good football, really. A lot of turnovers. But I think they'll start to get in a groove and become similar to the Rams of last year. I don't think they'll ever be as good as the Rams of last year, just with all the new players and missing pieces to their team. But, they're still a good football team. And I don't really view the Cardinals as that this year. So I'll take the Rams in this one. Another game that not too exciting on paper, but I have a hard time picking this one. I could see either team winning this. Ultimately going with the Seahawks, pretty much because they're home, I guess. But I wouldn't be shocked if, the Falcons, win this game. I think these teams, both of them are not very talented. The thing with the Falcons, at least they have some guys that are close to superstars or are superstars in this league, like AJ Terrell and Grady Jarrett. And Drake London looked pretty good last week. They have Kyle Pitts as well. Offensive linemen. They have some decent offensive linemen, like Jake Matthews. And for Seattle, It's a lot of guys that are pretty much unproven or have showed some, you know, great footage or good performances, like the running back Penny. Um, but other than that, and then the receivers, obviously, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, they haven't really got them the ball as much as they probably need to. And with AJ Terrell, I think he can only shut down one of them. So, and then it just comes down to Geno Smith, and this offense is very predictable. I think the Falcons are honestly a better coach team. So that makes me worry if going with Seattle in this. Again, I'm just going to go with the Seahawks at home. Um, it's probably going to be a low-scoring game. So, yeah, going with Seattle. Now, this game, I would say early in the week, I definitely lean towards Tampa Bay. And I think if you had a pick, you'd probably go with Tampa Bay. But there's going to be a time to win for Green Bay, even with all the injuries they have had. This might be the week to go in Tampa and win. Packers definitely not going to have Sammy Watkins playing. Randall Cobbs, we'll see with the illness. Lazard, I think it's the same thing. He has an illness. Should be good to go. You got Christian Watson with a hamstring as well. So it's probably going to be a lot of Dobbs. Now, their running game was pretty good, and they should be a pretty good run game. If they lean on that and they, on the defensive side, tackle really well, they can win this. It's going to be probably a low-scoring game. The Buccaneers don't have Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. Julio Jones, he's questionable. I think he'll probably play, but we'll see. And they got Cole Beasley. They just signed this week. They have some also offensive line issues. Green Bay does not as much. Bakhtiari probably won't play, but we'll see. He might. If he plays, that really helps Green Bay. And with no Keem Hicks, it also gives another reason for the Packers to maybe try to just stick with the run. Again, if you had a pick, go with the Buccaneers just by history and being home in the home opener. But if Green Bay's going to win, it would be this game. This is their chance, and it's going to be pretty important because you expect both these teams in the playoffs. Get 49ers, Broncos. I'm leaning the 49ers in this one. I think they're definitely the better team, more talented team. Denver is home. Russell Wilson's familiar with that team against the 49ers, and the 49ers are kind of familiar with him. So it's an interesting matchup. But overall, there's not much holes on the 49ers, and Jimmy Garoppolo back should help their offense. So I am going to pick San Francisco on the road to beat Denver. And then the last game of the week, you have Dallas versus the Giants. This one's really tough. I think the Giants are not really any better than last year's team. Obviously, then Saquon's playing healthy. That's really the only difference that I could see. Obviously, the different coaching schemes and stuff like that. And then Dallas is Cooper Rush. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. This might be a 3-point kind of deciding game, another Giants close game. Just because I saw what Dallas and how they played, I think I'm going to go with Dallas here. I like how they play when they have Cooper Rush. They run the ball. They try to play good defense and try to keep it close. And they accidentally Cooper Rush to make a couple plays in the game. So I'm going to pick Dallas. I guess who'd be an upset? I don't know who's favorite. I would assume the Giants. And I know they're making Dallas wear blue. So we'll see. That's usually bad luck. But, doesn't really mean much once the game is going. Those are my picks for the week. Hopefully next week I'll get my review earlier and hopefully have audio this time. Again, lots kind of going on, so I'll try to keep up videos. Again, I appreciate you listening and watching, and have a great day.